Welcome to the AMI and Amusement Connect webinar, live from Amusement Connect headquarters in Kansas City, Missouri. I am Frank Lacassi, one of the founders of Amusement Connect, along with John Tarpley. I've been an arcade operator for about 45 years, from full-line vending to traditional street routes to owning a family entertainment center for a number of years. John and I started Amusement Connect with the operator in mind, to be able to bring technology that can help an operator offer more payment systems to their routes and help them become more efficient and profitable.
I'm Chris Owens with AMI Entertainment, Vice President of Sales. I've been in this business since 1986, 96, excuse me, with both distribution, manufacturing. Also took a sabbatical and ran a route for approximately 10 years. So I know what you deal with on the distributing side and the operating side. I've rolled the trucks. And a lot of the decisions we make at Amusement Connect and AMI are based solely to help the operator be more efficient and create additional revenue as well. So this relationship kind of started a few years ago on a sidebar conversation that Frank and I had at an AMOA event. We followed that up with a conversation at the Amusement Expo show back in 2023. Developed that over the course of the year. We announced last year in 2024 that we were going to roll out this partnership. And, obviously that's been cultivated, become a little bit stronger. We've learned a lot of things along the way. And, we think the product is going to be, fantastic for the operator, manufacturers as well, both AMI and Amusement Connect. And, from there, it's just continued to develop. We made some improvements. We've done some testing. And we're excited to kind of announce the product to the broader field and show how it works.
Yeah, and you could quickly tell when we started engaging with Chris, AMI team, and Mike. John and I just felt we're aligned. I mean, they're so operator focused, customer focused, innovative. It just made sense to work together. We've enjoyed the journey together in creating this great solution to bring to the locations, as you'll see in the presentation.
So this is the result of the partnership that we have. This is the Amusement Connect MobileMech device, and it's powered through the AMI Play app. We've partnered to bring this innovation to smaller location sets, pool halls, bars, arcades, and other small set locations. We know that there's a different trend in habits with patrons. Patrons are carrying less cash these days. They can now use the AMI Music app wallet to conveniently play any of the games that are in the location. If your AMI or if your location has an AMI jukebox, they simply open the app, check into the venue, add funds, and then select the game.
From the very beginning, John and I focused on our why, and that is to improve the player experience in the arcade. To simplify what we're going to show you today, we've made it very easy to play games.
And just to show you the types of venues that can run the MobileMech with the AMI wallet, any venue that has an AMI jukebox currently within the location can power the MobileMech devices and trigger the machines. And then, of course, if you have a jukebox, if you have a trivia unit, if you've got the new Phantom that will be hitting the market here within the next few months, you can open up all types of locations, not just specifically jukebox locations. Any location that is powered by the AMI app will be able to run the MobileMech product. So as we continue to develop products, we're going to continue additional channels that operators can do business with that will open up the possibility of more MobileMech devices, more opportunity for the music app to control the devices within the location. And, we see this as not only current AMI locations that we have, it could be a competitive product that may be in the location that can still utilize the MobileMech as well. It can be legacy product that we have, newer product that's been released within the last few years. It'll really work on any AMI device that's within the location to power the MobileMech.
So the MobileMech adds an additional form of payment to customers to make it easy to play games. Provides online access to the operator. It will work within any game within your location, whether it operates with coin, cash, it could be any type of mechanical machine, a 15-year-old Valley pool table that requires 4 quarters or additional quarters, and then push the chute in to drop the balls. It works on that as well. It integrates with a machine that you already have. We're not taking away any forms of payment. That's the beauty of this. This is an additional payment option. So it will also connect to anything that accepts coins, cash. If you have a credit card reader on there and you want to connect all of that into the MobileMech, you certainly can. The MobileMech will connect to a Wi-Fi connection within the location. And that's going to give you that online access. We're going to get into some of the reporting and the operator dashboard configurations, things that you are able to do, not only to provide that mobile payment option, but also to run your business.
Yeah, and we know that adding a payment option can only increase revenue and clearly remove some of the friction with it from the player and the location, making it easier for them to spend money. We know patrons have, those that are carrying cash don't carry as much as they used to, but sometimes they have, let's say, a $20 bill or a $10 bill. They have to go to the bartender. That has to be broken down. They have to take it to a quarter changer. They have to then go play the machine. This just eliminates a lot of friction and should generate additional revenue for the operator in the location, and it removes a couple friction points in an effort to pay for a game.
And think about places that we go to where we're spending money, whether it's in a retail store or you go into a restaurant. The expectation I have is that they should accept any form of payment that I have, whether it's credit, debit, whether I have, some phone options like Google or Apple Pay, which continue to grow. That's my expectation. But really in our industry, I believe, we have fallen behind that, and we put barriers up because we make it difficult to play our games. And then we sit and wonder why our revenue is stagnant or decreasing. And that's because our customer base is younger. And look at the forms of payment that they use to buy things. Like my kids as an example, I'm not sure if they even have a dollar bill in their wallet or my daughter's purse, because they use other forms of payment, and that is our future. And we need to be prepared to provide games that they can play easily. Okay. There's several reasons and really additional reasons that we have listed on the screen. And when we talked about adding that form of payment, our expectation, we are going to see an increase in revenue. And the other thing that we can do as well is that we're going to have the real-time collection reporting. So as I'm, growing my business and I can view my routes and my collections, I am able to make better decisions. I'm able to reduce my labor because we're spending less time in the location collecting. I can monitor my games, what the revenue is. Cash accountability is important as well. And I think what we want to talk about is to use data to run our business. And if we have that, we can make better decisions. And cash accountability is something that I really want to highlight because that is really one of the pillars of good business practices. We know that our cash is making it into the bank, as well as our customers are confident that we're reporting the correct amount of cash as well.
Yeah, and I think another thing too is everybody's labor costs have gone up, whether it's minimum wage, whether it's the cost of insurance, anything that could add to your operating expense, the cost of gas, the cost of the load. Increasing the efficiencies that you have with your employees that are out in the field, whether it's collectors, service guys, or anything else, is going to help. It's going to help minimize your operating expense. So clearly, we know increased revenue within the location, but also saving some money on the operating expenses is very important for the operators as well. And at this point, I just want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, you could drop it down into the question box down at the bottom of the page, and we'll answer some questions after the presentation.
Yeah. And please bring the questions on, because that, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your feedback. And that way, as we develop and continue to improve our product over time, it's really the operator that drives our development. We want you to kind of guide what things that you need, and maybe some of these questions could give us some of the insight into some of that.
And to speak to a couple of the topics individually, increasing your revenue is clearly one of the most important things for all of us that are on this call, right? We do know that there's a little bit of a change in habits in some of the patrons that are coming into the bar now that may be a little bit younger, that don't necessarily carry cash with them. Your customers now have an additional form of payment that they can utilize at the location to open up the ability to make money from the patron. Less hassle for the customer in the venue. Obviously, we talked about eliminating some friction points, making it easier for people to play the games, and also to eliminate some of the, dare I say, sometimes headache that locations go through as they're on a busy Friday night. They have to make change. They have to take their eye off liquor sales, and this just should streamline that as well. And, you can also see how your games are performing in real time on your phone and web-based service, making sure that you have increased uptime, so that you can get more play, and that should be more profit for you as the operator.
Yeah, I think it's really clear, that last line, more play means more profit. So we're going to talk about efficiencies. How can we, how is this not only going to increase revenue, but improve our profitability? Well, we're going to reduce collection times by about 75%. So think about if you're running, maybe 6 to 8, 9 bars each day on average, your collector is going to now be able to run 12, 14, 15 locations a day. And maybe our frequency could be reduced as well. So possibly we could increase the number of locations during the week as well that we can fit in, which can allow us to become more profitable. And what that's going to do, while we have more profits because we're using technology to run our business, is that we are able to retain some of our better personnel. We always hear, oh, it's hard to find good people. Well, if we are a better paying industry because we are efficient and we're able to increase the pay, we're not only going to retain, but we're going to attract people to our business by using technology. The other thing that will help is notifications from the MobileMech. Think about how many times we're pretty much just waiting for the phone to ring. And those calls start coming in after we've had a long week of work, and Friday night, 6 o'clock, calls come in. Oh, we forgot to call, yesterday, that machine hasn't been working since. This puts us in a position to be proactive, for us to be able to know ahead of time which machines are having problems. Why hasn't that game, made any money since yesterday or the day before? Those types of things are important. So it puts us in a driver's seat. So we don't want those calls on a Friday night at 6 o'clock. I have to pay overtime and get a truck back out on the street.
Yeah, and we know that most AMI customers log into their app every morning to make sure that everything is online, that it's operating effectively. Now with the MobileMech, you can also do this on your dashboard to make sure the games are up and running and they're taking money. And again, an effort to try to minimize some of the expenses that you have on the operating side. It just should make it easier to be a little bit more efficient in the way you run your route.
One operator I just talked to recently was talking about how regimented they are in their schedule. And then this is going to be right up there with checking the jukeboxes. They're going to be checking their locations that have the MobileMech to make sure that they are all connected that morning. Again, information to be proactive. So with the MobileMech, you also now have access to the operator dashboard. And there's most likely on this call several of our Amusement Connect card system customers that know the convenience of using your mobile phone to check your card system locations. That is also available with your cell phone or laptop to go to your operator dashboard to see all of your reports, all of your gameplay, everything that you could think of that you need to see, all of the history of your collections, game revenue. These things, by using it, we come back to that, it gives you that data. Other thing you can do from any web-enabled device is go into your MobileMech game pricing, and you'll see that on a video we're going to show you here in a moment. And you're able to set different offers to, like, maybe pinballs, one game for $1. Maybe you give them 3 games for $2 as an example. Those are just different things that we can do to push them into, hey, you got good value here, even though maybe my price might be a little bit higher on the mobile play part, which you have the option to adjust, but you're giving value to really benefit yourself and give the customer the option. Okay, and again, we're going to come back to that cash accountability. And that is important, but also part of this that we report on the dashboard is tracking all of the forms of payment that are being spent on that machine within a location. So maybe my Dart machine brought in $50 in coin, I have $25 in cash, and I have $25 in the mobile play through the MobileMech. And what we are seeing is in that MobileMech, we are seeing that trend going the upward trajectory, because we see more people now becoming more comfortable using it because it is simple to use. We can run our collection reports at any given time to validate how much money was put into a location from one collection to the other. Commission calculation is a very important part of this, because we go back to what I had said before about saving your collection time. We're going to report that through the Amusement Connect dashboard, and coming soon will also be on the AMI dashboard as well on the jukebox.
Yeah, I think simply put, access to more data is only going to help you run your business more efficiently, a little bit better as well.
All right, we're just going to go to a video here just to show you some of what these look like. And you're seeing that we have by payment type in a location, and you see also revenue. This one, you see $476 of mobile play was spent out of revenue in that of 2025. That's excellent, and we're going to continue to see that. But we can break it down, just as I mentioned, by payment type. How much coin, cash, what are they spending on credit cards in the machine? Again, we see the same thing, how many plays, how many mobile plays. All of this is available. You can view it from, even though it is I'm just on a web, this is on any web browser, Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. If you pull it up on your phone, it's going to be a mobile view, so it basically looks like an app.
And again, don't forget, we'll answer the questions that you leave down in the question answer box down at the bottom of the page. To give you an idea of the fee structure, there's a $5 monthly cloud hosting fee per MobileMech device. And this pricing includes access to the operator dashboard interface, online reporting and collections and hosting services. And operators that are familiar with AMI or familiar with processing fees on a mobile site, there's a 5% processing fee for mobile play. Just as it is on the jukeboxes, it's also on the games. And during beta, we had explored different avenues on the way we price with cloud fees and with service fees and processing fees. We feel that this current fee structure is the most optimal for your routing and success.
Yes. And to get into the MobileMech, it is a low capital expense, $35 per device and $150 for the slider mech if you have a mechanical pool table. Okay, and we're going to show a video of in action. A traditional bar set with a jukebox, pinball machine, golden tee. We have a mechanical valley pool table, and then we also have a Dart machine we're going to view here. And in a bar location, it has an AMI jukebox and several arcade games. I'm in front of a Valley pool table that operates on coins only. The coins are set at $1 to play. If I insert quarters, I'm going to go to the app at this particular location, which will show the music that I have. I can add funds to it. And because this location is linked with AMI and Amusement Connect, I select the arcade button, which will list the games that are in this location. If I want to play pool, notice that I price it higher at the app. This is adjustable for whatever price that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and play. We select the button. It just released the locking mechanism. I'm going to insert that in. Balls drop, and I have 30 seconds to push it back in if all the balls did not fall. So it just re-engaged the locking mechanism. It's back to the normal mode. Okay, now I want to play pinball. Pinball machine accepts quarters and bills. I don't have any cash on me. So I want to play. I go to the Venom pinball. I select it. So pinball is set for $1 bill or 4 quarters to start, but on the app, I'm charging $1.25 for a single play and $2 to get 3 games. Again, all of this is customizable. Let's play Venom. Come over here, we have a full shooter dart, G3. I can set it to a single play, 301 cricket. This is all configurable. Let's go ahead and play. 301. Just coined up the game and ready to go.
And, you know, here's a testimonial from somebody that has installed and operates the product. This is a head technician at this company. You know, they've installed the MobileMech in their locations. It's been a game changer. Rave about how easy it is to use the AMI Play app, start pool games, etc. So not only from the implementation side and the location to the operating side, and for the patrons to utilize you know, the mobile app to play the games. It's an incredibly easy installation and easy for the patrons to adopt.
Okay, and this shows you an example of the Valley pool table that we just saw work. You see the MobileMech, how it's installed. That seems to be the best way for us to put that on. Pretty simple setup will help your technicians get started on their first location or two. And then after that, they have been pretty much on their own, needing little assistance from us. The MobileMech is able to be configured from their cell phone, so they can test it by setting, you know, the pulses of that game, whatever is required. So it is a really very intuitive technician screen. Other example, we show a pinball machine on the left, and we've got the bull shooter arachnid dart machine on the right. And this can be put on, just so we talk about dart machines as an example. You could have it on a connected dart machine, and you could also install it on a non-connected dart machine, because the MobileMech is going to be connected to the Wi-Fi. So, you know, regardless of maybe you have a location with 2 or 3 older machines in it, and you don't, you know, maybe it warrants getting a brand new connected machine, this will still work on it.
And I think that there's a solution to any type of equipment that you have in the location, whether it requires a slider mech, it's more mechanical or analog, or you've got a digital machine where it's going to be just a small MobileMech device as well. It'll work on anything within the bar. You know, clearly not going to work on gaming devices that some may or may not have out there, but any other piece of equipment in the bar, you're going to be able to utilize the MobileMech through the AMI app.
Okay. A couple other examples. One thing to note on the crane machine that you see on the right, we are able to track the payout percentage of your crane machines. That's going to be really important. You know, some operators might have a crane or two in a bar location. To me, it's very important. You know, I come from a vending background, so I would always wanted to know my cost of goods for a candy bar, my chips or coffee. We need to know our cost of goods on our crane machines as well. It's very important. And, you know, what we talked about earlier is that, you know, our team here at Amusement Connect, we are very innovative. We're trying to come up with, you know, ideas that are cutting edge, things that we believe that our customers need. These are all of our customers that play our games. We're very proud. We came up with the Slider Mech. We won Innovator Award, Wally XT Operator Choice, our Game Prep, another Operator's Choice. We've incorporated that technology into some of our products. And then, of course, this past year, AMOA Operator Innovator Award, Supplier of the Year, and then the Brass Ring Award.
And then again, an innovator award on the AMI side, bringing to the market another product that's going to open up the footprint for operators out there that will give them opportunity to make additional revenue on the music side, trivia side, MobileMech side as well. So obviously, our job as the manufacturer is to continue, and Amusement Connect as well, is to continue to innovate and then deliver those innovations to the field for the operator base.
Okay. All right, and we're going to talk about how do I order? Where do I get my MobileMech from? So you're going to place that through Amusement Connect, and we have a couple sites up above where you'll purchase that from. I believe this is also going to be, you know, recorded for AMI's YouTube channel. So, and you can always reach out directly to us at Amusement Connect. You know, anybody that you typically work with, we can also help you.
And we're also running a promotion currently at AMI. For any jukebox purchase that you have, you will receive 4 free MobileMech devices so that you can set these up in your locations on your new installations. And look, we make it very easy on both sides. Talk to your RSM, you know, talk to AMI, talk to Amusement Connect, talk to us. We'll make sure that you get the devices out there. It's a streamlined process, and you know, hopefully we'll see a lot of these going into the field and into the market. And then I believe we'll take any questions that may have been posed down in the question and answer box.
Yeah, so we do have questions. I'm going to go ahead and start. Please note that some of the questions may have already been answered, but I think it'll be good for you guys to kind of reiterate it, just to make sure everything's covered. So the first question is, what about locations that don't have AMI equipment? How would this work in a location that doesn't have an AMI jukebox or trivia?
Currently, it's going to be driven through the AMI app. So inherently, it's going to need to have AMI equipment in the location. But again, that could be both jukebox, that could be trivia product, that could be, you know, the new Phantom product coming down the pike as well here too. So it will have to have an AMI device in the location for it to drive MobileMech. You know, there may be another avenue that it can go, Frank.
Yeah, you know, we're always, you know, again, getting the feedback from operators. What more do we need to develop? We do have some options coming sometime around the first part of next year that we'll get into as we get closer, and we've got a little bit more information on that.
Okay, next question. How would this work if the location has an AMI jukebox owned by a different operator?
You know, there are some split locations out there. You know, to know how many there would be out there, I really can't answer. This is the first time this question's been asked. I mean, clearly you would want to have full control over the location as far as the equipment in there for them to be the operator that has the jukebox for clear reasons. Number one, it just makes it a little bit cleaner in the sense that since it's driven by the mobile app that's attached to the jukebox, I could see how it could get a little cumbersome another way. So currently at this time, if you have an AMI jukebox in a location or an AMI trivia and you have the rest of the equipment in there, it'll work seamlessly. Yeah. If you split locations with another operator, that's going to be a little bit more of a, you know, a detailed conversation between you and that other operator.
Okay, what will the service fees be for this device?
There's a service fee of 5% on the mobile, just like AMI Jukebox. If you play a song, there's a 5% service fee. And then there's a $5 cloud-based fee that's going to give you all the back-end support and the on-time support and the access to the reporting. And
Collections and so forth.
collections and so forth.
And that's per device.
Per device.
And also, just to clarify on the 5% fee on mobile play only, it's, assume your machine brought in $90 in cash and coin, $10 of mobile play, that 5% only applies to the $10 mobile play, just as it does on music today.
Okay, next question. Would an owner or operator have access to customer data? For example, name, email, phone number, game played, etc.
That's currently available through Amusement Connect user registration. I'm not sure if that has been added yet to MobileMech. I would like to be able to get that information to see when that would be available, but it is currently through our card system. You do have all of that data. So that would be something as we continue to bring on more customers. That feedback from operators is critical. So then we would be able to track that, but we need time to understand how we're going to do that.
Okay, I have two questions that seem to be very similar, and I have a feeling the response will be the same. So I'm going to read them both, and then you guys can either answer separately or as one. First one, can MobileMech allow controlling free or pay for play settings of the game? And then the second one, say a group wants unlimited play for an hour or two, similar to the free play setting on an AMI jukebox. Can this support this kind of group sale?
It will. That part, again, is finishing up some of the development, but yes, that is going to be available.
And along with that, you should also be able to have dynamic pricing, right? So if you want to charge $1 for a game of pool, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., that's great. At 5 p.m., 5:01, when it gets a little bit busier or your holiday, weekend hours, you could raise that price per play to $1.25 or $1.33. The good thing with the MobileMech and the way that it's formatted is that you can change the price, you can charge a premium, you can do whatever you want to do on the pricing side of that so that you can generate additional revenue. And quite frankly, to me, it makes more sense if you've got the streamlined ability to play through the AMI app to play a game. There's a convenience in there for the patron to play. I believe it gives you the opportunity to increase your price per play per device in those locations. But clearly, as the operator, you can price the units as you'd like.
Yeah, we have some operators doing that, what we call dynamic pricing, and getting no feedback or like negative feedback at all. No pushback from the customers. Think about all the other industries that use convenience, such as DoorDash. That's a convenience, and people pay for that. They'll pay the fees associated. This is more designed. It also helps us as operators push our pricing up. I hear so many times, I can't raise it over $1. I can't raise it over $1.25, and so forth. This helps you at least start in the right direction.
Okay, I have a similar one that sort of piggybacks on the original question about free play. So for a pool league that gets free play, can you set it to go back to free play every Tuesday from 6 to 8 and then change it back after that? And will it auto do it every week?
Yes, it will follow the Amusement Connect configurations for happy hours, which does allow repeat happy hour or pricing for a day and a period of time.
Okay, next question. Does the operator create the name and provide the picture of the devices that will appear on the AMI Play app? I think they're referring to like all the different games, how they appear.
Yeah. So what we are putting the pictures on because we have the resolution, we know the type of game. All the operator has to indicate is what is the type of game, who the manufacturer is, and then the game, and then from there they can name it whatever they want. Pool table by the bar, dart machine #1, golden tee, in the back room. You can name it anything that you want. So when the customer, you have to think about, they're the ones that have the app open, so they need to know which machine are they selecting to play.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different floor plans that you may have within a location: front, back, east, west, mezzanine, upstairs, downstairs. Obviously that's going to need to be set by the location so that there's a distinguished a distinguishing moniker on each of those games so you know which game you're actually playing. But yeah, that's customizable by the operator as well.
Okay, Amusement Connect must collect email and phone numbers for the app to work. Are the operators able to get this info for their own marketing? I'm not sure I understand
I
that.
think, you know what,
That would be
I think I know where that questioning is headed. And, you know, I'm a firm believer, 10, 15 years ago, operators were reluctant. I know I was when I was operating, for people to have information and more and data on my locations, the revenue that I was making and everything else. I can tell you now that there's been a shift in the last few years for operators that are starving for more data. How can I reach out directly to market or promote, or where can I target some specific patrons to drive them into the bar? You know, that's something that we do with Fast Blast on the AMI mobile app. I think both of us, all of us, are working towards being able to deliver that data to you in a way that makes sense and yet still protect, some of the privacy issues that are out there. But I think we're both working in that direction.
Do they have access to their current players at each location now?
Would they?
Through AMI?
I mean, those are things we're looking at being able to present to the operator base. I mean,
Okay,
what we like to do is provide the best data and the most data that we can to these operators or to you operators so that you can run your business the best you can.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's a continued improvement. You know, there's access to some of that information now, but again, we have to be sensitive to the fact that there are some privacy issues and all that. And even we take that, we don't access everybody's information. But when you're signing up on an app, clearly that information is stored somewhere.
Yeah, so I just want to kind of piggyback on the answer there. So at AMI, we do have what's called Fast Blast, and it gives you the capability to send the notification to people who have used your jukebox in a certain amount of time. That person who asked that question asked it anonymously. At the end of the webinar, there'll be a survey. If you want some guidance on how to utilize that feature, just put a note in there. Make sure you include your email because the survey is anonymous. And this way we can have your RSM reach out to you and help you with that feature. Okay, next question. Again, I have two questions that seem very similar, so I'll read them both and then you guys can answer. First one, how is the manual pool table slide device powered? And then the next one, does the slider mech for a pool table come with battery to power, or does it require a power outlet?
yes, so great question. The slider mech requires a battery, and we have a recommended battery that you're able to purchase, and you can mount it inside the coin door, or you can mount it underneath the table. So we just let the operator source their own, and it is powered by the battery. Right now, we're getting at least 2 weeks out of the battery that we've tested, and we're moving to improve that to about a month or better through a low power option that we can have on there. So that's how. So it does not require a plug-in. Now, if you're on an electronic table, obviously you do have that ability, but not on the traditional Valley mechanical table.
And to add to that too, there are other solutions that are out there. I think even Valley may have one as well, where you can convert, 110 to 12 volt to plug it in as well, so that you can power those devices and power that pool table.
Okay, I have another two questions that are again very similar. First one is, are refunds available if the game is not working properly? And the second one is, so if a pinball is broken, for example, there's a stuck ball and people keep trying to play it and then they want a refund. Do I eat the money both ways? I give the money to the customer and you guys keep the money, or for the pool table, do I install battery and new coin mech to make that work? I think that was a two-part question for that one, but the first ones seem to be related to refunds.
I think on the first one, of course, there'll be, of course, we'll issue refunds if the operator has to issue refunds. I mean, obviously, we'll be able to see, my assumption is, Frank, you can see on your side as well. If somebody goes to pay for a machine and they don't get the vend or they don't get the play, then clearly, we'll make the operator whole on that side. And in part of that making the operator whole is going to be any fees that would have been associated to that pay to play the machine.
Yeah. And from the Amusement Connect dashboard, you can log in to that pool table that maybe somebody just lost some money on, and you can do a remote start. You can push the button from your cell phone, your technician could be maybe at a location 2 hours away and somebody wants to play a game of pool, they can just log in, push start, and that will then disengage the teeth on the slider mech that we saw, and the player can play the game of pool.
Okay, we are starting to get low on time, but we do have some more questions in the queue. I
Okay.
want to continue to encourage people to drop it in the Q&A box at the end. If we don't get to your question live, we will be able to follow up with you afterwards as long as you don't submit that anonymously. Okay, next question. Does the MobileMech keep track of only mobile play, or does it keep track of coins and bill revenue as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
It keeps track of all the play that you have. So whether it's bill, whether it's coin, whether it's credit card, whether it's mobile, it has accounting for all that. So you'll be able to see real time at that particular unit or within the bar or the venue, you'll be able to see how much money the games and how much money the location is generated. So you'll have access to all the accounts see on that side.
Okay, next one. Can you do dynamic pricing on the slider mech? For instance, 2 plays for a discounted price?
Let's see, how would that work? 2 plays for a discount. I am not sure we trigger that one time. I don't know if that's going to be an option currently, the way that we're doing it. So I'd have to basically refer to, John or your development team to answer that question.
I
don't
think
believe so.
if we can get Jill, if you've got who submitted that question, I think we can get
I
back
do.
with a more succinct answer here
Yes.
pretty quickly.
Yep, and we
And-
have the
and-
person's information and we can follow up with them afterwards.
And the same with anybody else that has any questions that feel that they didn't get a whole answer, or if there was something they didn't want to ask. We're happy to, whether it's the RSM or either Frank or myself, we're happy to make those calls so that we can make sure that everything's answered. To the point.
So we'll do one final question before we wrap things up, and then the other ones will be addressed via email by a representative. The last question is, and I think it's in regards to when you guys were talking about the battery. Does the battery recharge or does it need to be replaced?
It needs to be removed from the table with a replacement put in and then charge it about 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, that wraps it up for questions. I'll turn it back over to you guys, but I just wanted to let everyone know that there will be a survey that'll populate in your screen when the webinar is done and when you log off. We ask that if you have the time to please go ahead and submit it. It does help us prepare for webinars in the future and also provides guidance on product features. And then if you do have a specific question or need help, please, like I said, make sure you include your email in one of the boxes so that we know who to contact, as it is anonymous. And back to you, Frank and Chris.
I just want to say thank you for everybody taking time out of their busy Wednesday to join this. There's 2 trusted companies that I think have credibility with Amusement Connect and AMI, and I hope that what we put forward is that we're always willing to learn, and any feedback that we get is going to only improve your product, my product, how it operates in the field. So thank you, and I encourage you to either ask some more questions if you want. We'll get back with you, or feel free to reach out to us and tell us some concerns, tell us where we can improve, because we're always trying to do that with our products.
And the same goes for me. We really appreciate your time. And if you need to reach out to me directly, mine is pretty simple. Email frank@amusementconnect.com. Please, send the emails, feedback. Our system and product is here for you, the operator. So it's important that we get that feedback. I heard a couple things today, some good questions. So, we'll learn some things.
Yeah, I agree. We always learn something from these conversations, and we always learn something from the feedback we get from the operators, or if venues extend questions to us through the operators or whatever, we always try to get those answers back as timely as we can. And we love to learn, because we love to create better products that are going to make more money, that are going to make operationally are going to help the operator, venue, patron, etc. And definitely encourage any feedback we can get. And we'll get to any questions that didn't get answered. And I certainly appreciate your time, and thank you for the business.
Okay. Have a great day.